right, now let's keep this going because I really want to get to this part of it. This is where the media comes into play. Two of the biggest names in Florida politics, Steve Shale and Justin Safey, remember that name?
Yeah.
Who does he do? Safey Review.
Safey Review, yeah.
Report healthy earnings for lobbying work. So you think that this guy's a news service, he's a lobbyist.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's part of the problem.
Yeah. So Justin Safey and Steve Shale, two of the biggest names in Florida politics, far from limit their lives to the campaign year. These two politicos each run highly successful consulting firms with thriving communications and media practices. They both choose to run solo in their lobbying activities. So they try to separate it out like there's some kind of difference there. During the second quarter of 2013, Safey collected as much as $99,000 for lobbying the legislators on behalf of 6 clients and as much as $99,000 for lobbying the executive branch on behalf of 8 clients. Safey's big cut this quarter came from Diplomat Properties to the tune of up to $29,000 each for legislative and executive activities. The city of Hollywood, Google, and Rick Angelone of whatever, oof, boy, that's a weird name, VSCHOOLZ. Really?
No idea.
I actually think that they should investigate that guy for just having a crazy last name. Each paid Safey up to $19,000 apiece for legislative and executive representation. Respectively, the Auto Nation paid $19,000 for legislative lobbying alone. Comparatively, Shaley worked this quarter with 3 legislative lobbying clients, AT&T, the Florida Hospital Association, and Walt Disney World Resort, to the tune of $49,000 in compensation. These are great clients for any lobbyist, but particularly for a pro in his second quarter of lobbying in Florida. Not surprisingly, these clients did not see the need to retain Shale for his executive lobbying, at least not while Governor Rick Scott is still in office. But don't be surprised if Shaley's executive compensation report looks a little different following January of 2015. They're basically saying that Chris or you are going to win.
Well, at least they're planning for a Wyllie win.
Yeah.
Each quarter, lobbyists.
Except if you ask Safey, he'll say he never heard of me, like he did with Alex during his campaign. Who? Never heard of him. Yeah, right.
And that was from St. Peter's blog too. That was Shorts as well, or Peter, whatever. So, and again, no stories about Corcoran though. That's his boy, actually. And the reason I know that is that's what Peter said to me on the phone when I called him and asked him about the crap that Corcoran was pulling, and he said, "Well, I'm not going to do anything about that."
He's my friend.
He's my friend. I've known him for years. That's what he said.
Well, and that is what, and that's why, I mean, as much as...
And again, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. As much as, we'll say, like, well, he does tend to put out some stories that are bad on both sides, or he tends to be a little equal. If you're his friend, he doesn't, and he'll tell you, no, he's my friend. I've known him for years.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the they say it's a good old boy network, but that's really what it is. It's cronyism. It's rampant throughout the state of Florida, and it's through all levels. It happens in the media. It happens in these lobbying firms. It happens with these corporations who hire the politicians as consultants, and it sure as hell happens in the state legislature and the governor's office. Now,
here's the other part, though, and I make sure I want to address this part before I move into the again. We're going full circle with all this stuff. It's actually pretty funny this week to see that you could go full circle with everything. But every story we just did was about Republicans. Democrats do the same thing, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But this state is owned politically by the Republican Party.
Yeah, the only reason that what we're reporting on is predominantly Republicans is because they're in power right now. If the Democrats were in power right now, we would be talking about the very, very similar stories happening among the Democrats. It doesn't matter which one.
The companies to other names.
But right. That's all. That's the only differences, folks. So we're not specifically picking on Republicans. We are picking on both.
Well, yeah, they own both houses. They're in control of the state Senate, the state
veto proof.
Yeah, yes, a veto proof.
Right.
Of both houses and a Republican governor. So I mean, there's just no. There's no way to talk about Democrats because they're not controlling anything.
If you're a company or a special interest that wants to buy influence, wants to buy special favors, wants to get kickbacks and all that good stuff, you're going to go to Republicans right now.
Right.
If Democrats were in power, they'd be going to Democrats.
Yeah.
And both can be bought.
Yeah, and spending money on lobbyists is at record levels.
Right.
And it also includes cities and counties. you got to remember this, is that cities and counties spend your taxpayer dollars to lobby Tallahassee.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they've got their hands out, too.
Yeah, to all kind. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, are spent. Now, again, I think about this. The government agency lobbies and spends your tax money lobbying another government agency.
In the same state.
In the same state.
What's worse than that is they're lobbying so the city that you live in is lobbying the state government to get more of your tax dollars from the state,
Right.
Instead of just going directly to you because they know you're going to say no.
Right.
And if you try, they're going to vote you out of office. So they're doing an end around. Well, we'll get it from the state. We'll hire lobbyists. We'll use the taxpayers we do get from the tax money we do get from the local people to buy influence in Tallahassee. Does that even make any sense?
Well, they're all in on it.
Yeah.
It's a big game, and they're all in on it, and the person playing for the game is you.
And, yeah, exactly. You're the ones buying the tickets to the game, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. Now, it doesn't mean that not everybody gets away with it all the time. Is that every once in a while, like you saw in Sampson's case, like you saw with, what's his name? Former chair of the RPF.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Jim
Greer.
Greer. So people do.
Well, Greer basically sacrificed himself in a noble effort to take all the blame. Yeah, to save Rubio and Chris is really what it boils down to. Those and Scott as well. Yeah, those are the guys he saved by not coming clean. But he got to ride the blue bus to jail for that one.
Yep. Now, in addition to that, another person is riding the blue bus to jail right now. And that's Mitch Needleman. He was arrested on bribery and tampering charges. So former clerk of the courts and Florida rep Mitch Needleman. Now, remember this. He was currently the clerk of the courts. He was also a former rep before. So he went from state house back to clerk of the courts because they pay more money, by the way, just so you know.
Right.
Pisano got an upgrade in pay, too.
Yeah, Pisano got an upgrade in pay.
Yeah, those county jobs are usually six-figure and above income.
Yeah, it's 100. Constitutional officers are $118,000 just in Pasco County.
Right.
Yeah. So former clerk of the court and Florida rep Mitch Needleman was arrested this morning on charges of bribery, bid tampering, and official misconduct. This was done August 15th. The charges come at the end of a year-long investigation by the state attorney's office and Florida Department of Law Enforcement into allegations that Needleman got campaign kickbacks from a company that was awarded an $8.53 million contract to scan court documents. So they had to go out and get a company to do scanning of court documents, to move it from paper to digital, which is not necessarily a bad idea, mind you.
But it's $8 million.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't have someone in the office that could just hit scan?
Oh, no. It doesn't work that way. They got a whole bunch of money they want to spend.
Wait a second. How much would it cost to get a pod and put more papers in there?
Yeah. Well, and again, I happen to know a little bit about
about
this.
$300 a month or something versus $8 million.
I happen to know a little bit about this industry, and what happens is that because there's so many documents, they have to do a backfill. Like they have to get all the paper stuff.
Yeah. We understand.
Do the conversion.
Yeah,
so,
but the bottom line is not that they were actually making the conversion to paperless and scanning the documents in. The bottom line is the clerk of the courts was getting kickback from the company.
Well, because they paid double. Because they paid double.
Right.
Like $8.53 million to scan court documents. Let's say they have tons of documents.
Right.
At the worst they would have done is it would have been maybe $4 million.
Right.
I've seen contracts that were scanning millions of pages for just $1 million. For a lot less money than that.
Sure.
Because it's not just that. You got to make sure that the software. Well, at any rate.
Right.
So. At the news conference this morning, FDLE Director and Executive Investigations Cindy Shands said that Needleman entered the contract Blue Ware Incorporated with the agreement that a portion of that money would be funneled back into Needleman's re-election campaign. William Matthew Dupree, former business partner of Needleman, was also arrested on charges of bid tampering and bribery. An arrest warrant has been issued for Blue Ware Chief Executive Officer Rose Haar on bid tampering and bribery charges. The investigation shows Needleman, Dupree, Haar swindled Brevard County taxpayers out of millions of dollars, Florida Department of Law Enforcement Commissioner Gerald Bailey said in a statement released today, even though that he probably is doing the same thing. However, that being said, they're busting this guy. Unbelievable. The question becomes,
whose toes did this guy step on?
Right.
Or what scam or graft or kickback or bribery did he not play ball in? What?
Because they're all doing this.
They're all doing,
So,
90%.
90% of them are doing this. The majority of the people are doing this. So
the funny thing is what caused him to be the one that they said, all right, we're going to take that guy down. We're going to throw them a bone, throw the media a bone, throw the people a bone, and make it look like we're, tough on corruption. I wonder what he did.
Hey, Danielle, can you finish what you were saying? Sorry, you were rudely interrupted.
No, it's all right.
Oh, are you trying to recover for when you did it and she shot you the dirty look?
You just did. So go ahead.
No,
she was trying to interrupt me. I was still in a thought. She was trying to interrupt me.
Okay, never mind.
Well, go ahead. Finish what you were going to say.
It's all right.
All right.
Yeah, you know what? Hang on a second. Quit being a chick and talk, will you?
Oh.
No. I was trying to make a point that when you interrupted, you ended up getting there. I was going to say the same thing. You just kind of.
So okay. So I covered it. So we're good. So you're happy.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay. Well, wait a second. Hang on. This is just a short aside. Alex and I still have a hard time with the female language, and it is an entire language. When we hear "never mind," we're beginning to be conditioned to mean, that's something wrong. We're in trouble. That's bad. We have to do something now.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Danger.
Danger.
It's one step below
I
fine.
Think you may have gone down the bad road.
So you can't just say "never mind" and expect us to never mind, because when we hear "never mind," we know we're in trouble.
I do get, sometimes when you guys are like, oh, is everything all right? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. All of a sudden, everything stops in the car.
Right.
It's like,
fine.
What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
All right, so let me finish up. Let me finish up these stories with the last one. Jackson Jr.'s last-minute mood disorder qualifies for disability. If you're unaware, Jesse Jackson Jr. is going to jail. Because the former congressman spent about $750,000 in campaign cash on outrageous luxury items like celebrity memorabilia, mounted elk heads, fancy jewelry, and cashmere caps.
We buy gas.
Junior,
wait a second. It's because he's black.
Oh, yeah, no.
Why are you being a racist?
Yeah. So, Junior's wife, you know what? I'll tell you right now. You know who the racist is? Jesse Jackson Jr., because he stole money from black people for his own self-benefit. I would argue that's pretty racist. Junior's wife, Sandy, the former Chicago City Councilwoman, another one in politics, unbelievable.
In Chicago, no less.
In Chicago, is also going to jail, another surprise for a Chicago politician.
Oh, they're going together.
Yeah. And
actually, it is a surprise when they actually go to jail.
Yeah.
Most of them get away with it.
Not Chicago. Chicago puts them in jail. Like the last two mayors have been put in jail.
Well, they have to eventually.
Well, when they get out of line, they put them in jail.
Yeah, right.
Is also going to jail for falsifying tax returns to cover up the illicit operations. They were sentenced on the same day. How special. With both parents going to the slammer. Who knows what will happen to the Jackson's young children? A Chicago newspaper summed up best in this headline. Now here we go. This is where it gets awesome. So this guy's going to jail, right? No, this is where it gets even awesomer. He spent all this money, right, and he's going to jail. He claimed a mental disorder, a mood disorder, something that's never happened before, but now all of a sudden is happening. So the late onset of what we know is a debilitating mental illness makes Junior eligible to get $8,700 a month in government disability pay while he's in jail, according to news reports that also says that the slammer-bound politician can get a partial federal pension of $45,000 despite his transgressions. So what does Junior's dad, the world-renowned Jesse Jackson, have to say about all this? The Reverend Jesse Jackson says his son has been very sick and still is in recovery. This time a year ago, I thought we may have lost him, the senior Jackson wrote in a letter to the court after he said he was going to cut Obama's balls off, which obviously is not, and was not part of the story, by the way. But he did say that on a mic, on a hot mic. He did actually say that.
All right. So
even if you get caught and you're going to jail, you claim you get a mood disorder. And hold on. No. Hold on a second. I'll give you $45K of how much you were going to make on your pension and $8,700 a month while you're in jail for a couple years. How does that deal sound to you, Mr. Wyllie? Why would anybody want to be honorable when corruption pays $8,700 a month if you get caught?
That's over $150,000 a year. So he's going to jail. Has a mood disorder, which I would imagine if you're going to jail, you're going to be a little depressed. I think
Maybe
that would
angry.
be angry. Those are both moods, and they would be, I guess they could be classified as mood disorders.
I would think there's not going to be any happiness in all of that.
Right.
So there's definitely a perpetual anger and sadness.
So he goes to prison, but while in prison, he's going to be earning $150,000 per year from the taxpayers.
Yes.
And this is
while he's serving time for the crime of defrauding and stealing money from the taxpayers.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
I just want to make sure I got the story straight.
Well, look, you can't do the illegal pulling from the taxpayers. You have to do the legal ones. So you got to claim the mood disorder so you can get the $8,700 a month that way.
He's going legit.
Yeah, he's going legit.